awesome artists. I hope you enjoyed the story Lines That Wiggle. In case you were wondering, our next lesson is going to be all about lines. We're going to be reviewing our lines and making some really fun name art with lines, okay, to create fun patterns and designs. And the reason why we're going to be doing our next lesson on lines is because lines are a really, really important element of art. Okay, I'm not sure if you realize, but we use lines for almost everything. Okay, we use lines to make letters and words. We use lines to make designs. We use lines to make numbers and shapes. When we're drawing, you almost can't draw a picture without lines. Okay, so that's why lines are so important, and that's why I really wanted one of our first lessons to be about lines. Okay, so my other grade levels are all doing projects on lines. Okay, we're focusing on lines for this first week. Okay, and your lesson is going to be this really fun name line art lesson. Okay, so what you're going to need is a blank sheet of paper. Okay, you can use markers or crayons or colored pencils, whatever you have available to use. I'm going to be using markers and crayons. Okay, so this is an example of the lesson. You are going to be writing your name. Okay, and one of the things I want you to really pay attention to is when you do write your name, I want your letters to touch the top, okay, and the bottom of your wavy line that you're going to make. Okay, we really want our letters to reach all the way up and all the way down. Okay, that way it's a little bit easier for us to make patterns inside of these different sections. So as you can see, in the sections, I made different patterns. Okay, what is a pattern? A pattern is anything that repeats itself. It can be colors, and it can be shapes or numbers. Anything that is repetitive is a pattern. Okay, and then it starts to look like a design. Okay, like polka dots. Polka dots is kind of a design made out of a pattern of dots. Okay, now I am going to be giving you on the Schoology in my course. I'm going to give you some examples of lines and patterns. That way, if you do need some ideas, then you can just look there, or you can be super creative and come up with your own designs. Okay, so this is an example of mine. Of course, yours is going to look very different because your name is not my name. You are not Miss Gutierrez, so yours is going to look very, very different. Okay, boys and girls, so I'm going to go over step by step how to do the lesson. Remember, at any time during the lesson, you can pause it, and if you get behind, you can always pause it and then catch up. You can always pause it and work on the lesson, like maybe the part that I'm on, you can work on it, or you can continue watching it and then working on the lesson, but it's up to you. So I'm going to start making the wavy lines. Okay, now you're only going to make 2 wavy lines, okay, and I'm using my black Crayola marker because the tip is really wide, thick and wide. So, and I'm going to, when I do my wavy lines, I really want to try to make them even, like evenly spread, okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to start making my first. It doesn't have to be too wavy. You know, we'll wave across. Okay. And then after that, I am going to start writing my name. Now, my name is super long, and if you notice, my letters, because I'm going from top to bottom, my letters are really kind of skinny. Okay. And that's kind of my little tip for you guys is try to make your letters skinny, okay, and that's the way that you're going to get them is if you really do go straight up and straight down. You try to touch the top and the bottom, okay. The wider your letters are, you might have trouble squeezing your whole name on there. if you want, you could, and this might be helpful for a lot of you guys, is use a pencil first. Use a pencil and plan it out first and write each letter. And then, hey, if you still have all of this room, then guess what? You know what? You can rewrite your name again. You can write your middle name instead of rewriting your first name again. You can write your initials if you like. If you have extra room, you can just try to kind of fill in that space by maybe writing your middle name out or your initials. Okay, so my suggestion to you is if you don't want to go straight to marker, do it in pencil first. And the part you should do in pencil first is just your name. Okay? So you are more than welcome, and I do recommend doing that if you would like. Okay? And now I'm going to go straight to marker. Okay? So I'm going to show you how I go from the bottom to, and I make sure I touch the top. Okay? So just go all the way down. Okay, so M, I, S, and I also want to stay within this section. I don't want to go into any other section. Okay, so there's Miss. My name's pretty long, and a lot of you just know me by Miss G, but it's actually Miss Gutierrez. It's just a long name. This is my G, really tall and skinny. G, U, T, and actually my T is going to be wavy like that. G, U, T, I. So as you can see, as I'm writing my name, I'm saying my name. That also helps. So I've got Miss G, U, T, I, and then I'm going to fit the rest of my name here. And I'm kind of, this like part, the top part to my E, I'm just making it that same shape right here. E, G, T, I, E, R. So I know that I've got to fit quite a bit of letters on here. So that I know to tell my brain to not make my letters so big. Okay, so there is my name, Miss Gutierrez. My whole name fits. Wow. So I mean, I really kind of do have to kind of think about it before I start to just draw and write. So like I said, boys and girls, please use the pencil first, and then you can go over it. Okay? All right, so I've made my name, and now I have these different sections. Okay? That's a lot of sections, right? So a little tip here is I did repeat some of my patterns again. You don't have to come up with like all of these different types of patterns. You can repeat some. So look, like I repeated this one here again. Same thing with the loop-de-loop. I drew it again here. Look, my zigzag lines. I did those again right here. And let's see, polka dots. Polka dots here and also here. So some of the patterns I repeated more than once, okay? In some sections, like there's 2 letters in this section, but it's kind of hard to break up this section. Like it doesn't look like the M, right? Like this is clearly one section, another section, okay? Or I'll look at it on this blank sheet. These are sections. So wherever you see white is where you're going to be making patterns. Okay, now right here there's 2 S's. There's not really like a line right here that's separating them. So this is all just one section for me, okay? So that's kind of the way you have to look at it. All right, boys and girls, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using my markers to make my patterns. Okay, boys and girls? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start coming up with my patterns. So let's say, for example, like I said, there's a lot of sections. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some polka dots here. Okay, and I like to use the side of my marker. That way I can fill it in a lot quicker. Okay, so remember, a pattern is anything that repeats itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, since I have this red marker in my hand, and I could even use a different color, but you know what? I want to use this polka dots again. So I'm going to come somewhere else, maybe somewhere a little bit further away from this pattern. Maybe, let's see, maybe in the E. I'm going to do some more polka dots here, but you know what? I'm going to switch colors. I'm going to do purple polka dots. So this whole section is going to be polka dots. Okay, and there I go. So I repeated my polka dots again, because like I said, there's a lot of sections here, okay, and it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't want to make you guys come up with all these different kinds of patterns. You are more than welcome to, but I'm not going to make you. You don't have to. So don't worry about that. You can repeat some of your patterns. Okay, so this one I'm going to do a loop-de-loop, and actually I'm going to make a pattern with this. So I'm going to use two colors. Okay, and actually what I'm going to do, make it faster, I'm going to spread out this orange line, these orange loop-de-loops, because I know that in between these orange loop-de-loops, I need to make a teal or turquoise loop-de-loop. So you can also be creative, and you don't have to use the same color necessarily, but it's the same pattern. I mean, it's the same design, but I came up with the pattern, right? I did turquoise, orange, turquoise, orange, turquoise, orange. Okay, so that in itself is another pattern. All right, boys and girls. So I'm going to continue with my shapes, okay, and my patterns and my fun designs. And then in the second part of the video, I will show you the coloring. All right, boys and girls?